Hello, and welcome, my dear friend. Destiny carried you to this exact moment because today is the first time this truth does not merely sound comforting, it belongs to you. You have been living like someone still in a fight, shoulders tense, heart guarded, mind constantly running through worst-case scenarios before you can even enjoy the quiet. That is what happens when the world teaches you to always expect the next hit. But heaven wants you to hear this now. The fight that tried to define you has already been settled. The verdict is in. The battle is over. Now it is time to rest. I know that may sound strange at first. Your body still remembers the tension. Your spirit still carries some of the bruises. Your mind still replays scenes of how hard it was just to make it here. But victory is not always loud. Sometimes it is the undeniable truth that you outlasted what was designed to erase you. And here you are. That alone is proof. The hardest part is already behind you. Think back for a moment. There were nights you stayed awake, rehearsing every reason to quit. There were days you moved through life on autopilot, unsure if you could do it again tomorrow. And yet tomorrow kept coming, and so did you. That kind of endurance is not natural. It is supernatural. It was not willpower that kept you going. It was preservation. Divine preservation. God was not going to let the weight break you when the story was not finished. And now heaven has made the announcement. It is done. The war that dragged on through years, through cycles, even through your bloodline, has reached its conclusion. This is why your spirit has felt different lately, even if you cannot fully explain it. Why the same? Fears do not cling the way they once did. Why the same temptations no longer pull you under. Why peace has been quietly entering, even when chaos still tries to knock at your door. Something shifted. Something closed. Maybe you do not see it yet. Maybe you became so accustomed to life being heavy that rest feels unfamiliar. Maybe until now you never allowed yourself to settle into peace after constant striving. But here is the truth. When heaven announces a victory, it does not wait for earth to recognize it. God's decree always outruns human perception. Your victory is already recorded, already stamped, already sealed, long before it becomes fully visible. So if you have been waiting for a sign, this is it. You crossed the line you thought would destroy you. Because of that, you can rest differently now. Not the restless kind of rest that braces for the next storm, but the deep exhale that comes when you realize it is over. Truly over. This does not mean you will never face challenges again. Life still has its tests, but the specific war that chased you, the one that tried to swallow your identity, that battle has no authority anymore. You outlasted it. That is why this moment matters so deeply. You are not just entering another season. You are stepping into a season defined by recognition. Recognition from heaven first, that you stayed the course, that you did not fold, that you carried truth when it would have been easier to abandon it. Recognition on earth will follow, not because you suddenly became worthy, you always were, but because timing has finally caught up with your truth. Do not miss this part. The way you see yourself must shift too. You do not need to keep rehearsing a fight that is already over. You do not need to keep wearing armor that has already done its job. You do not have to move through life as if everything is a threat, no matter what the world taught you. You are allowed to lay some things down now. You are allowed to breathe differently now. You are allowed to walk with an ease that does not apologize for itself, even if comfort feels unfamiliar after years of survival. God is not asking you to prove that you survived. He is inviting you to live like someone who already did. And that changes everything. It changes how you pray, less from desperation, more from confidence. It changes how you love, less from fear of loss, more from fullness. It changes how you carry yourself, less from striving, more from knowing you are already sealed, already chosen. You walked through the proving ground. You endured the hardest test, and heaven has already made the announcement. The truth spoken over your life is clear. You have already won. So let this sink in deeply. the restlessness, the second guessing, the anxiety that keeps you waiting for the next battle. These are only echoes of an old war. They no longer belong to you. What belongs to you now is peace. What belongs to you now is freedom. What belongs to you now is a kind of rest that does not mean laziness, but stability. The kind of rest that comes from knowing the foundation beneath you will hold because it already has. So the next time your mind tries to pull you back into the panic of the past, remind yourself of this. The war has ended. The record is sealed. The verdict is victory. And heaven's announcement never lies. Please understand this, my dear friend. Rest is not weakness. Rest is what strength looks like after the war is over. You lived for so long with tension in your body, constantly bracing for the next problem, the next disappointment, the next betrayal. That posture became normal, so normal that even now, with the hardest battles behind you, your mind still scans for threats that no longer exist. But God is saying, you do not have to live like that anymore. You are safe to rest now. Rest is not doing nothing. Rest is living without the fear that everything will collapse if you pause. Rest is releasing the weight you already carried beyond the finish line. Rest is trust in motion. Think about it. When someone finishes a marathon, no one questions whether they deserve to sit down. No one accuses them of laziness for catching their breath. Why? Because the effort is undeniable. The proof of what they carried is written into every step they took. That is you. You have already run a distance others never believed you could. You have already outlasted storms that were designed to drain you. You have already proven, simply by being here, that your endurance is real. So rest is no longer optional. It is necessary. It is what prepares you for what comes next. This is the shift you must allow yourself to make. You are not in constant danger. You are not one mistake away from losing everything. You are no longer living under a curse of exhaustion. The fight tried to convince you that survival had to be your identity, but heaven is teaching you something new. Rest is now your inheritance. And when you begin to live from that rest, the way you move through life changes. You stop rushing to prove yourself. You realize that what is meant for you comes toward you without struggle. You no longer chase because you are finally at peace. You stop listening to voices that never understood you. You stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you, because rest silences desperation, and desperation was the last chain trying to keep you bound. So allow yourself to settle into it. Rest does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you abandon responsibility. It means you are no longer ruled by fear. You no longer believe that everything depends on you running harder, trying more, or stretching yourself thinner. It means you are finally allowing God to carry what He intended to carry all along. And isn't that exactly what He promised? Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. That is not poetry. That is covenant. Your rest is part of the reward. Just as a soldier does not fight forever, just as a farmer does not plow endlessly without a harvest, you were never meant to live in constant battle. You were meant to live in cycles. Yes, there are seasons of effort, but there are also seasons of receiving, and this is one of them. So begin to notice how God is already inviting you into it. Notice the moments of stillness that feel less like emptiness and more like fullness. Notice the peace that makes no logical sense, yet refuses to leave your side. And listen, if it feels unfamiliar, that is okay. When you have been wired for survival, even joy can feel suspicious. Even quiet can feel threatening. Even love can feel too good to be true. That does not mean something is wrong. It simply means your nervous system has not yet caught up to what your spirit already knows. Heaven has already declared it. The battle is over. Now your body and your mind are learning how to live as if that is true. So be gentle with yourself. Practice resting the way you once practiced fighting. Practice receiving the way you once practiced persevering. In time, you will see that rest does not make you weak. It makes you sharp. You think more clearly when you are not exhausted. You love more deeply when you are not running on empty. You build more strongly when you are not constantly repairing yourself along the way. That is why God is insisting on this shift. He is not merely giving you a break. He is giving you sustainability. He is showing you that His blessing was never meant to cost you burnout. His love was never meant to feel like another war. This rest is holy. It is restoration. It is God saying, "You have done the impossible. Now breathe. I will take it from here." So let this truth cover you today like a blanket. You are not falling behind by resting. You are not losing momentum by catching your breath. You are not wasting time by being still. You are aligning with the very rhythm of heaven. Because heaven never asked you to carry everything forever. Heaven asked you to trust, and trust at its deepest level looks like rest. So close your eyes tonight without guilt. Exhale without fear. Smile without waiting for something to go wrong. Because this time it will not. The verdict is victory. Verdict. The invitation is rest, and both belong to you. When a message like this lands, your spirit often wants to remain in its presence. That is why I created Simplified Serenity, a channel with music designed for prayer, meditation, and deep rest. The links are in the description. I would love to see you there.